What's up guys, Sorin here. So how can you hide your IP address? Several people usually want to hide their IP address so they can use torrents safely, remove geographical or censorship limitations, such as you can't visit a specific website from another country, or even for privacy and to prevent your private data from being used from ads companies. No matter the reason you want to hide your IP address, I'm going to outline the 4 methods that you can easily do this and a few guidelines about each of them. So the first way to hide your IP is the VPN way, to use a VPN. This is usually the best and the easiest way. I say the easiest way because a lot of high reputable vendors have good apps or software integrations, so you can easily connect to their VPN and start browsing securely. Now, in order to make sure that you're really browsing securely, that VPN provider should offer full encryption for the data that is sent between your PC and the VPN. And also the VPN should not log any data of your activity on it while you're connected to it, or else it defeats the purpose, as the VPN can do whatever it likes to the data. I know there are terms of service, but those things change over time. So, how does a VPN work? Well, to put it simply, when you connect to a VPN, your PC acts as it would be on a same network with that VPN. So when you're connecting through a VPN to Netflix, let's say you're in Germany and your VPN is in US. Now Netflix thinks that you are in US because your PC is basically on the network with the VPN, and the VPN actually connects to Netflix servers. So that's why it can properly hide your IP, and if it's a good VPN vendor, can also keep you secure and your data secure. The second way of hiding your IP is using a proxy. A proxy acts as a middleman between you and the server you're connecting to, or website you're connecting to. So that means that that server traffic that you send or receive goes through that proxy. Well, you might say, well, basically that's just what a VPN does. Yes, a VPN could be interpreted as a type of proxy, but there are some major differences. A proxy usually doesn't support full encryption like the VPN does. It's not as secure. Free proxies exist and people often use them, and they're just not that secure. And we have to talk about the DNS part of things. Some proxies do not fully route the DNS part, so apps and stuff you access using your proxies can still determine your actual IP address. Okay, maybe the main server you're connecting to can't, but the other connections you make will be able to. Let's say, for example, you're connecting to a website through a proxy. That website sees your proxy's IP address, but also the website connects to Google AdSense or other ad stuff. Most of the times, those third-party services will be able to see your real IP address. So while a proxy is also easy to set up and use, it's not always that secure. Another way of changing your IP is using Tor. Tor is a decentralized anonymity a network of nodes that basically routes your traffic through different random nodes, and the last node, known as the exit node, actually communicates with the server you're trying to connect to, or website. So it's pretty darn hard, near impossible, for that website to tell your real IP. But do please keep in mind that Tor is also, while probably being the most secure way, painfully slow. You can't really expect usually a good experience navigating and stuff like this. Also keep in mind that a lot of server administrators, websites and apps and whatever frown upon using Tor because it's usually associated with doing illegal stuff, visiting the darknet or whatever illegal websites. That means that some websites might actually not work while using Tor. So some ISPs also are not too friendly about these types of connections. So just know this and be on the lookout. You never know. The fourth way to change your IP, and I left this last because it's quite not so accessible and not really hiding your IP as much as changing it. So at home, your ISP provides you usually with two types of IP addresses, a static one or a dynamic one. The dynamic one means that usually when you unplug your modem or router for a couple of minutes, it changes. Okay, so nobody can know that it was you on the other IP, but you really didn't hide your IP, you just changed it. That's not really a good way of staying anonymous, especially as your behavior can still be tracked, and if you visit the same websites or server games or whatever and do the same actions, smart people will usually be able to tell that it's still you even if you changed your IP address. Now, do keep in mind that even static IPs sometimes change due to IP recycling and other stuff. Basically, we're running out of IPv4 addresses. But you can also probably ask your ISP to change your IP if you want. But as I said, this is not really a hiding method, it's just a changing of your IP method. All this being said, if you really want to be at least a degree better or more secure, please make sure that your connection to your VPN, if you are using one, is fully encrypted. And if you can, try to use a DNS that is secured, that has HTTPS over DNS, that has DNS encryption, something like Cloudflare 1.1.1.1. That thing really encrypts the whole traffic. And how does this help? When your traffic is encrypted, let's say the communication between your PC and your VPN or another website is fully encrypted, your ISP can tell what server you are connecting to, but it cannot tell what data you are sending or receiving. If you don't do this, basically the ISP has full control over the data. It can see it as it's not encrypted. So this comes into play when you're especially thinking of being very anonymous and you really want to hide from your ISP. Not especially for illegal purposes, but for tracking, or I don't know, you just don't want people plainly seeing the data you're sending to and from another website you're connecting to. Now, on an ending note, please note that a VPN, a proxy, or Tor does not replace your IP address. They just mask it. A VPN is a mask, is a middleman between you and where you're trying to connect to, a website or a game server. That means that your ISP still sees that you're connecting to the IP of that VPN. It just doesn't know if the VPN is a reputable one. It just doesn't know what data you are sending and receiving. But it still knows that's just how it works. Your IP does not vanish or something like that. So if this video helped you understand how can you securely hide your IP and have a more secure way of browsing or connecting to a game server or whatever you need to do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tell me what other types of videos like this would you like to see in the future. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.